All right, Kenya, thank you for joining us here on the Spider Success podcast. I'd like to give you the opportunity now to introduce yourself, what team you play for, year you graduated, and what you're currently doing
Very good. Thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm excited this whole program that you're offering to the students. Again, my name is Kenya Spearman. I'm a 1991 graduate of West Hampton, University of Richmond. I played for the women's basketball team. So go Spiders. And let's see, I played all 4 years. I was very fortunate to have a 4-year scholarship, athletic scholarship. Which was really a blessing, is a blessing, continues to be for my family. I'm the first to go and graduate from college in the
now? There we
family, and
go.
we really didn't know much about how to raise the funds or what have you. So fortunately, I did well enough in school um, and athletically to be able to get that scholarship. So that's me. Did you want me to give any more detail or?
Oh no, that was phenomenal. So with that, I'd like for you to just kind of, what was your path to where you are now? So from Richmond
Uh,
to where you currently stay.
Right. So currently I'm in California. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. Went to Upper Marion High School in suburbs of Philadelphia. And I graduated in 91, as I said, 87 to 91. And I came out to California to teach. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was going through school, really. I wanted to study psychology, theater, and things of that sort. And I did do that. I majored in psychology, minored in sociology and Spanish. Um, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do afterwards. I was walking through the Commons, beautiful Commons, and there was a flyer or an application of some sort for Teach for America at that
Oh
time.
wow.
Yeah, so I picked that up and pursued Teach for America. So I was a part of the second year core for Teach for America. Um, and I was hoping to get placed in New York because I was bilingual. Because I was bilingual, they placed me in California. So I ended up staying out. And ironically, my father and I, we crossed paths, if you will. I was brought up by my mom, the oldest of three at the time when I graduated. And I moved out to California. My father moved back east to Pennsylvania. So I've been in California since 91. Uh, I did teach in Compton for a couple of years. I remember when I was trying to make a decision, what do I want to do? It's like, well, I want to act, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do everything. So a friend was finally like, just choose something, and pursue
Choose a
that.
thing.
So that
Yeah.
was like the wisest thing. Not that I couldn't do other things, but just like you got to choose something. So I
Right.
chose teaching. And I stuck with it because I really wanted to give back. I should back up a little bit. Why did I choose teaching too? Because I was doing a research report in psychology, and I was doing it on education. I'm a product of the busing system in
Hmm.
Philadelphia. So in fifth grade, I was bused to the suburbs, and then finally we moved out to the suburbs. And I would look back at my cousin who was still in Philly and see that she was a year older than me, but she was getting education like 2 years behind me. Like her textbooks were that much older. So that just
Yeah.
really tested me and troubled me all along. So when I did see the Teach for America flyer and I was doing my research project, I was like, okay, well, this is my chance to try and write or rebalance things. So that's why I went into education. Um, and then after 10 years or so, I realized I didn't want to stay in education. I hope that's not a turnoff for people who want to teach because we really need great teachers. It's really a calling. But I found that my patience wasn't entirely there for education. So again, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Let's go into real estate this time was the consideration. My biggest concern or fear was like security, financial security, right? So it was like, okay, then real estate will be the answer to the calling. But at that time, my executive director approached me, executive director being the leader in our union, a staff person for our teachers union. He wasn't an educator and not a teacher himself. He was working as the leader in the union. So he approached me and I said, look, what I would like to do is your job or be a full-time release president because I'm liking the advocacy thing. I was
Yeah.
involved at that time. And he sat me down and talked me through and helped me even look at the money too. Because I was like, I figure I'm worth this much because I was doing a lot of extra stuff at the time too. And I was a hard worker and what have you. So I don't know if I'm going way ahead of where you're
Oh no,
talking
you're
about,
good.
but so he sat me down. I investigated the organization for a couple of years and realized this is a company I wanted to work with and for because it's in advocating for educators and still a strong organization and trying to equate the imbalances in education. So I pursued it and have been doing that work advocacy for 18 years now.
And the name of the company?
It's California Teachers Association.
There we go. So, and your role with the California Teachers Association is
Well, it's called Regional Uniserve Staff. I am now an executive director, like my exec was who approached me in essence. And
okay.
so I have 20 chapters that I work with or for in the Sierra foothills of California. So Calaveras, Amador, Tuolumne County. Um, like I said, over 18 years, I've worked with locals as small as like 23 members, one school site, one local, up to 1,600 members. So I have a multiple of chapters that I work with. So in doing that, what I do is I do contract negotiations, contract protections, as far as like grievances and the like. Um, I work directly with the members primarily. So they do a lot of the work, if you will, and I'm like their consultant until it
Okay.
gets to the level of mediation or arbitration. Then I do those pieces for them.
Cool. That's very interesting. So, how has your experience as a student athlete kind of translated to like what skills and things have you taken from being a former student athlete to the work that you're doing now in the professional world?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did coach for a period of time, and I remember
Okay.
sometimes why why coach? Why go through athletics? And I gotta say, over the years, it's gotten a little clearer to me, and it's the leadership
Mhm.
opportunities, and also the opportunities even to be a follower, if you will, right? Because you can't be a
Yeah.
good leader unless you're also a good follower.
Right.
And it's the teamwork and collaboration that you engage in to reach your goals in general. Uh, so as a student athlete, I do remember going through I don't know where's the excitation of everything that was going on around me. But I do appreciate that Coach Gately was our coach at the time. She would have study halls for us. Um, and that was an opportunity for us to focus. And I was not always the best at focusing at the time, but I value those times realizing how important it was to really cut, time aside, right? And be able to focus on your studies and what have you, and with your teammates too. So that's the student part that I sometimes struggled with, frankly, as a student athlete. And then the athlete part, as far as working with my peers, my teammates. Um, I laugh somewhat now. Lori, not Lori, I'm sorry. Oh, her name's going to escape me right now because I can see her face. Governor, Lori Governor was the captain at the time, and awesome person. She and I stay in contact every so often, and I laugh now. We had a conversation. It's like, we're still athletes. We're still athletes. I'm into my mid 50s at this point, but I'm like, we still got the athletic mind
Oh
because
yeah.
we don't up easily. We we just we see there's a way to get to a resolution and usually in a team like manner. And that's really valuable. As I'm even going through COVID right now, I'm like, hey, there's an end to this. So I would say as a student athlete, learning to collaborate,
Mhm.
opportunity for leadership, and just realizing what's important. those opportunities came to fore as a student there at Richmond.
There you go. That's a phenomenal answer because being able to collaborate and work with other people can get you far, you know.
Yeah, get you
As
far.
as the saying goes, if you want to go far, go by yourself. No, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a group. So, uh,
Absolutely.
final question, just to, don't want to take up too much of your time, but what advice would you have for student athletes, looking, preparing to go out into the professional world, especially in the world of education? Um, what advice or little tidbits can you kind of share with them?
Look for experiences. As you asked that question, I'm reminded I did the tutoring program when I was a student athlete at Richmond. Um, I was helping in the inner city just by tutoring little kids and what have you. Um, Stay curious also. Don't be afraid to try different things. Um, Education can be a great path just because there's so much hope in working with young ones, right? For me, I was looking for something to, again, balance the inequalities. And then you just look at working with kids and they're innocent by and large. So it gives you an opportunity just like to, lack of a better word, mold someone
Right?
um,
Yeah.
and or be an important part of their lives, right? Just an important part that they can reflect upon. Uh, what advice for student athletes? Stay curious, take advantage of opportunities to be involved. Uh, it's okay if you make a mistake. You don't have to have all the answers. I certainly did not. I'm very fortunate. That, probably because I did stay curious and look for opportunities to get involved. So that's why I say, and there's so many jobs out there too, um, beyond being a teacher, a firefighter, a lawyer, and what have you. I didn't know I was going to be into a union position or a
Right.
political position for one. My mother, for one, was, how did you get into this? Because she's definitely political. Like, how did you even get interested? So just stay curious and follow your interests, I would say.
That's amazing. Absolutely. So that, like I said, I think is a great place to kind of end it. I want to say thank you very much for your time, Kenya, especially you're kind
Yeah.
of working your way through COVID. Um, Thank you so much sharing your time with us, and it's very valuable for our student athletes. So, final word, go Spiders.
Go Spiders. Thanks for your time, RD. I appreciate the invite.
No problem.